my internet freaks out and makes it where we're not live anymore because my internet has been as schizophrenic as hell. Some of my ex girlfriends, but anyway. Dun, 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 dun. Hello. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. If I had a girlie who looked good, I would call her. I wish I had a rabbit in a hat and a bat and a 6'4" Impala. Right? We all have wishes. There is the shadow. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. Big Vic, you're gonna be down here, man. Maybe we'll have to one of the days if you're available. I'll talk to the wife. Maybe we can treat you to dinner at the local tavern near us. It's really good. I don't know how far away it is from where you're going to be though, because I'm in Osceola County, but it'd be nice to see you since you drive all the way down here all the damn time. Do, do, do. I don't know. I got that Skilo song stuck in my brain, The Wish song. Okay. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. Wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit and a hat and a bat and a 6'4" Impala. Yeah, we definitely should think about something. I am depending on where the tournament is, I am 45 minutes to an hour away. So so yeah. Well, maybe we can work something out with that. Flying down. I haven't been in an airplane since I joined the Army, since my military days. I just staying at the hotel. Nice, nice. Dean Powell, what is up? My Danish friend and hero. Right? I think that if I ever got to play Baptism of Fire, which I know I never will. Yeah, I know exactly where that is. I would make a character either Yatvingian out of the Baptism of Fire book or just a straight up Viking out of the last Vikings book, except I would say I was a Geat. So I'd have a character and I would name him something Scandinavian like Canute or Leaf or whatever. And then my instead of a surname, my title would be the Geat. Yeah, I'll have to talk to the wife about that actually. Had to go to the dentist today. Not a great time. But I go in for quarterly cleanings, and the last time I was flossing my teeth, one of the little fillings they put in fell out. So, Jeff, how you doing, Jeff Dinkar? Did I hear about Charlie Kirk? No, I did not hear about Charlie Kirk. The last thing I heard about Charlie Kirk is Cartman was playing him in an episode of I hope he's okay, right? I mean, it's crazy out there because there are a lot of freaking weirdo. I don't know if it's insanity or leftist ideology. I don't even know what it is, you know. It's like I had to give a lesson to one of my nieces, and she is a sweetheart. But we were talking about leftism, which, being that she's college educated with master's degree, whether she wanted to be or not, she ended up being a lefty, right? He shot in the neck. Was it by a trans person? Because that would just be par for the course. You know what I mean? And you know, and some people wonder why everywhere I go, I've got my 9 on me. And it's because, to quote Salty Cracker, you got to have your head on a freaking swivel these days. Well, if they get him to the hospital, there's a good chance he'll live. You know? If you can get people to the hospital these days with modern medicine, you know, more often than not, you can pull them through. But still, why would anyone want to shoot Charlie Kirk? He just sits up there and talks. Someone shot Charlie Kirk in the neck. Wow. He lost a ton of blood and he's at the hospital, still alive. Idiot who did it is in custody. See, my wife watches Charlie Kirk more than I do. A boomer old guy. That makes sense. Actually, that makes sense. It's kind of like when you watch the people who are all like protesting and singing those lame ass cringy songs, you know, which side are you on? Tell me. Those are basically the hippies that turned into boomers. And now that they've retired from whatever the hell they've been doing their whole lives, they're trying to go back and relive their fucking hippie years. It is the cringiest shit. He's stable, good. I mean, is Charlie Kirk going to have to start going to universities and with a bulletproof freaking glass in front of him? I mean, what in the actual F? And it's always, well, I will say this. At least it wasn't another trans person. Because I think if it were another trans person, that shit would have just been really bad for those confused cross-dressers. And I'm not saying I agree with the trans lifestyle at all. I don't. But at the same time, man, it's like the last 4 or 5 shooters have been trans people. It's like, come on, somebody needs to give those guys a little bit of a break because we all know they're crazy. But I heard somebody talk about passing a bill saying trans people couldn't get a gun because they were going to classify being trans as a mental illness. And of course, if you got a mental illness, you're not getting a gun. That's just what it is, right? So, I mean, in most cases, there are cases you can get around that, but still, okay, I've got a Mr. Pilkington hanging.
Hey.
Hello, Mr. Pilkington. So busy day here. I thought, you know, I'd just go to the dentist and get my teeth cleaned, and then my wife would buy me a burger from Culver's. Delicious, by the way. Really the only burger place that I'd worry about. Yeah, watch it be a 75-year-old man that's already got, like, you know, stage 15 cancer. And he thought, hey, before I die and go burn in hell, maybe I'll try and take Charlie Kirk with me.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Because
I was about to ask you on that
you
one.
don't die and burn in hell. I mean, and the shooting of Charlie Kirk did not help that shit out a bit. So I mean, it's just like it's always the lefties too. And what's funny is if you listen to the news, they would have you believe that America is just full of right-wing violence.
Yeah.
Right-wing violence just all over the place. And yet 90% of the time, I'm just throwing a number out, I could be totally wrong, but it seems like to me the majority of the time the shooters are freaking Marxists. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I think it's pretty much every time.
And then you had the crazy black dude with the 14 count rap sheet just stab a chick in the neck. Culver's is Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin makes the only hamburgers I care for anymore because every other burger joint sucks now. Like Checkers, Sonics used to be pretty good.
Yeah.
McDonald's was never good, but it wasn't terrible. Now it's terrible.
Oh yeah.
So if I'm going to eat a burger, I'll eat a Culver's Butterburger or nothing though.
Homemade's about the best you can get here.
Well, my wife makes some delicious homemade burgers. So, but yeah, this is the, I mean, politically, I don't have much to say more than I said. And somehow I guarantee you CNN will try to find a way to make this either Trump or Charlie Kirk's fault.
Oh yeah. MSNBC talked about it, and I mean the woman who was reporting on it looked like she was smiling because of it.
Well, of course. You guys know the old
black dude after he stabbed the Ukrainian girl. They have it on camera. He's walking by the train and he says to another black dude, "I got that white bitch." Like that's recorded. He said it multiple times. So then they get on TV and you've got Vance Jones or whatever, the communists, trying to talk about, these guys are saying this is racist, but there's no evidence it's racist. It's like, I think there is some evidence that it was racial.
You 50-50.
When you said, "I got that white bitch," I think that's pretty much 100%. Why else would he mention the white part? I got that bitch.
But he's also clearly
that little blonde girl specifically because she was white.
There was more than just that. She was white and she was beautiful.
Well, I mean, a lot of Ukrainians are.
No, but
they're trying to say it was a Charlie. It's kind of like when that idiot got online and said, Trump's always talking about all the crime in the blue cities, but the crime rate in all these red states is terrible. But what they did, like they named Louisiana. They're like, the crime rate in Louisiana is horrible, right? Yeah, if you live in New Orleans, Shreveport, etc., it is horrible. And both of those cities have Democrat governance.
So it's like living in Louisville. No thanks.
It's like coming from Kentucky and living in Louisville, and then people being like, "Oh, Kentucky's a red state, and there's horrible crime there." Yeah, in Louisville. If we could cut that shit loose and give it to Ohio, we would. South Toledo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that reminds me. People always try to style on the South, like, "Oh, look at all these search terms they have preference for." Then you put over the map of like the diversity map, and then it's just dark down the South.
Well, Georgia.
Oh Georgia, yeah, I mean, like in general, when we're talking about the South.
Yeah. You're talking about the South United States.
Yeah.
Georgia and Alabama.
Oh boy, I had to drive up near Louisville.
If you do a demographic search on Kentucky, you'll only find minorities in like Louisville.
I'll have to go back up near Louisville again.
I'm sorry to hear it, bro. Yeah, you're near E-Town too, so.
Yeah, but I'm pretty far from Louisville.
When you look at
least 2 hours.
Though, there's like no diversity. Last time I visited my mom, I think my wife and I were there for a week. I saw
Actually,
nothing but
kind
white
of not
people for
true,
a week
James.
straight.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Apparently, there's a lot of cartel members up in the eastern part now.
I never saw any. The closest I ever saw was a Filipino woman that was married to some white guy that brought her home when he was in the Navy.
Yeah.
That
And I
happens a
mean,
lot.
you know, for the longest time before World War II, people who cared about such things considered Asians to be white anyway. But then during World War II, since we were killing them, we had to make them not white. Does
I
that
mean,
make
James.
sense? That's weird, right?
I mean,
It's
James.
weird.
But they just arrested like 50-something cartel members in Kentucky.
Yeah, here in Florida, I already told you, like last month, they deported a bunch of Russian mobsters. Of course, no one cared. There were no protests or anything. No one was shouting, "Give us our neighbors back" or anything like that.
No, because they're
Because
Russian.
they're white guys.
Yeah.
Like they've been deporting not Indians, freaking Canadians, Australians, but no one gives a shit because they're white. But you want to deport a Mexican, and all of a sudden you got to, you know, it's a big thing. And what's funny is the people who are most pro deport Mexicans are the legal Mexicans that live in the United States and came through legally. They're like, yeah, F those illegals, get them on, you know.
I mean,
Like-
I'd be last name. I'd just be like, if I was like an ethnic group and there's like a lot of people giving our people a bad rep, I'd be pissed off too.
To be fair, James, if they're mafia members, they're probably Russian to get them out.
Yeah. Well, they were supposedly, they weren't Vori, they were just straight up mobsters, you know.
Gotcha.
Because there is a difference, you know. When the Soviet Union fell, which that's been 40 years now, a lot of military guys, because the Red Army got disbanded pretty much, took the skills they learned in the Spetsnaz and shit and become mobsters and hitmen and various whatever, right? Because you're going to do what you need to do to put the borscht on the table. Also, there's no T in borscht. People always want to call it borscht. It's not borscht. It's borscht.
I never heard of it.
What's
called
up, George?
borscht, so I don't.
A lot
know.
of people put the T on the end of that.
I don't get that myself because I mean I've heard that word before, and I.
All right, Jeff. Thank you for dropping in. Thank you for letting me know what the hell was going on. I'm living like the meme on that somebody made and posted on my Discord says, "I am living in my own private Idaho." Somebody made a meme, and on one side, Bear saying, James, you're living in your own private Idaho. And on the other side, you can just see this much of my face, like up, and it says underground like a potato. It's like, what? Okay. I mean, I posted around to other people because I'm like, and Bear's like, I thought you made that meme. No, I have no idea who made the meme, but I fell around. Yeah,
I looked. I knew it wasn't you because I was like, nope, that's not James that made that. I don't know who that is, but good job.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a name I recognize. It's probably somebody we chat with every day, but we don't know their Discord handle. You know what I mean? It could be Shadow for all we know. He's artistic.
No, he's not that clever.
Oh, I think he is.
No,
he's a caveman. We know that.
I mean, I think he's clever enough for the joke. I just don't think he has the patience for Photoshop.
That's what
he's got the patience to sit there and paint all that Dungeons and Lasers shit. He can Photoshop some shit.
Yeah,
I think
James,
you guys, your biggest mistake is that you are underestimating Shadow.
But James, PCs get periods, like they get that time of the month with how erratic they are. Painting minis does not. Minis are pretty static.
Don't ever underestimate Shadow.
Oh shoot! I'm
Next
so
thing
hungry.
you know, you'll have a ball bag in your mouth There'll be cameras and lights all around you. He'll be standing there with that California desert accent, being all like, "I'm going to make you famous, boy." It won't be good.
The only person I ever threatened to make famous was RPG Grandma.
Well, that's weird.
She should be way more famous than she is.
Yeah,
How
I
did
don't
it
think
go?
we're talking about the same kind of fame.
Right. Well, no. No.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm being mean and you're not being mean.
Yeah, it's not in my skill set. I mean, it could be.
I had to learn
I
it
could
from
just be
my
fibbing.
friends. To be fair,
What did you have to learn from your friends?
being mean.
Like to be famous, or
Oh,
To be mean.
apparently I'm
Just be a
underground like a
jerk.
potato. Friends,
gotcha.
Yeah, they were mean to me, and then I
Okay.
look, we always,
this is
mess
how
with each other.
George, that could be any George, including but not limited to George R. R. Martin, which would be hilarious if it was.
We lost James again.
It would be weird. I'll give you that.
The potato ran out. Gotta wait till he replaces a potato again.
Yeah, he needs to get a new potato battery. By the way, what's that in his hand? Like, is that glue or?
Oh, there he goes. I think that was like a what do you call it? Brush.
No,
Okay, it was glue.
yeah, I
I
was,
was taking a screenshot.
he
I
picked a horrible day to stop sniffing glue.
this glue I don't think really has a smell. So I don't think it'd be a good set of glue to be all like,
That was an airplane callback.
I know.
Okay.
Testers
If you're right
up
over
the
my head.
thing.
You never saw the movie Airplane?
If
Lloyd
I haven't watched it like understanding English. I like watched it with subtitles.
Oh, well, Lloyd Bridges in the movie, every like 5 minutes talks about he picked the wrong day to quit doing a particular drug, and sniffing glue was one of them. Back in the old days, model glue, the tester stuff that came in the metal little roll-up tube, if people would squirt it into a paper bag.
Yeah, my Russian is really bad. It consists of like 4 or 5 curse words and saying hello and friend. And
Are you implying that that's not most Russians too?
yeah, right.
I was gonna say that sounds like a
not
Russian
your
admiral
average
I know, except
Russian,
for the friend
so
part.
he's dropping in and saying stuff, and I'm like, I mean, I can cuss at you. I can be like, "Suki blet," "Uski koi, go yup for your mom."
James, I was gonna say that's just like an admiral, except for the friend part.
Well, friend is comrade.
I know, but I was making the joke that he just like the biggest joke about this guy was all he did was like throw binoculars off his ship and curse at everyone.
But Russian is pretty hard because, I mean, a lot of words are different. You know the important. I know what you need to know to play Counter-Strike.
Rush B?
Just Russian curse words, because that's 90% of Counter-Strike.
I was never a fan of Counter-Strike.
You go on Counter-Strike Go, you kill somebody, they start cursing your whole genealogy in Russian.
I think I tried Counter-Strike for like an hour, and I was like, "This is not for me. I don't like it. I quit."
I played a shit ton of Counter-Strike before Battlefield 1 came out. And then I immediately flipped to BF1. But
okay, so you played
1.4
or 1.6.
George.
Yep. I played when the hostages would get stuck in the door frames all the damn time. On the one mission where you had to free the hostages, and they'd be like, you'd be like, "Follow me," and they'd be like, I'm coming. And then they get stuck in the door and just stand there. And it's like, God. I'd get so mad sometimes I'd just shoot the hostage, which means you lose the game, but and then you don't get a lot of money, so you got to start the next game with like the MP5 or whatever. Yeah, the old MP. Meanwhile, the guys on the other team are running around with like all the slick, good weapons. And I played during the time when you could bunny hop and headshot people with ops, but only if you were Russian.
Oh man, the op. Yeah, you know that was made by 3 guys in a shed.
Yeah, the op is a sniper rifle.
Yeah, it was British made.
And these guys would be running full blast, and I'd like try to gun them, and they bunny hop, shoot me in the head, land, and then yell at me in Russian. And it's like you don't want to say somebody's cheating, but they were cheating.
Yeah. And
99% of the time you're playing a first-person shooter, if there's a Russian on the server, he's cheating.
Funny story about the op. The 3 guys that made it actually sent one in just to get it tested by the British military.
Yeah, but like the British had like the British had like a test of like, oh, we need a new rifle. Every producer sent in, as long as you're not 3 guys in the shed. And they sent like theirs in, and it's like one every test they made for like a bolt action rifle. Then they came over. Then they actually won, and they panicked and quickly like hired, what do you call it? Not hired, like
they basically
rented a small
workshop,
mechanic shop or something like that, and then like disassembled weapons so it looked like people that worked there.
Yep.
So when the people making sure it wasn't just 3 guys in a shed came over, could see that they were doing something, and then of course they got the contracted and hired people.
The contractors actually was like, yeah, we came here just to make sure that you weren't just 3 guys in a shed. And the 3 guys are like, we're so dead. But yeah,
I know how to pick up Russian women, Andre. You just walk up and you tell them, "You're my wife now," and smack them. And then that's pretty much it. Then they follow you home, and that's it. And then you have a bunch of kids. And then they end up getting like a headscarf on and going to church 3 times a week. Which is fine.
Question, are Russian women like Irish women, like they gain defense stats as life goes on?
Not really. The thing with a lot of Russian women, and of course this is very broad strokes, is they cannot tolerate weakness in their mate. So they're not like American women who want a man who will cry and be sensitive and shit like that. No. They want.
Sorry, that's not what I meant. Do they gain weight as they age, like Irish women, or?
No. Not all Russian women do. I mean, some turn into babushkas. Others, stay hot until they're like 65. You know, it just depends. She's not Russian. She's Slav. The First Lady of the United States. She was born and raised in Slovenia in the Balkans. She's what, 50, 60 something?
Really?
50? Well, I'm sure she's probably had a little bit of really subtle work just to kind of play along with her natural beauty, you know, and not make her look like a Gelfling from Dark Crystal.
Right.
But, yeah, a lot of Russian women are just absolutely beautiful women. But there is a guy whose wife wrote a book in Russian, but I heard about it through the Orthodox Church, on when and how the proper times are to smack the shit out of your wife. Because as the man of the house and the head of the house, occasionally you may have to discipline your wife for being an idiot. Now that shit would not fly in America, but amongst old school Russians, yeah, that'll do, you know. But if you pick a Russian girl, like if you talk to a Russian girl and she agrees to go on a date with you, show up, give her flowers, tell her where you're taking her, take her there, order for her, maybe even eat your meal, have her home. That's what is expected. She should not have to plan anything. And at no point do you ever be like, I don't know, what do you want to do? Never. You know what I mean? You got to be the guy that's like, you're making that decision. God dog it. We're doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Melania is 55.
Coco.
55. Yeah, confidence is a must. Masculinity, what in the West, what they call toxic masculinity is the norm in Russia. Not just Russia, in all the Slavic countries. You know what I mean? If you walk around being a sissy and shit like that, ain't no Russian woman will want you. You know, because they all want a big burly protector who will work hard and beat somebody's ass if it comes down to it. You know, I mean, they're super traditional like that. And if you're that man and you bring the money in and you're willing to whip some asses, they'll keep your house, cook you nice meals, have 9 kids for you. You see what I mean? It's like a balance, right? But you got to be the man. So, you know, just a cultural change. I personally believe that at some point in the future, Eastern culture, and by Eastern, I mean Slavic culture. What's up, Coco? Slavic culture will save the West from itself. You know what I mean?
Only one can hope.
Like how Westerners are becoming just, for lack of a better word, just sissies, pussies, you know?
Yeah.
One of these days, I'm thinking, and it may not be them ethnically, in the United States right now, the vast majority of men under the age of 30 are Orthodox. Orthodox Christianity is freaking growing so fast in America right now, predominantly with Gen Z men.
Basic expert just converted.
Yeah, he's doing his catechumen now.
Ah, nice.
Yep. Because orthodoxy is such a inflexible, because it shouldn't be flexible. It's
No.
religion. Religion is not flexible. Hierarchical thing that, like, if you're a young man and you're kind of adrift and you don't know what to do with your life, blah, 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 you go down to the Orthodox cathedral and believe me, one of the priests will tell you. You know, they'll tell you to hit the gym, you know, clean yourself up, you know, pray every single day, you know, maybe pray to the, you know, pray for intercession from the saints. They'll tell you to meditate. They'll tell you to eat right, fast when you're supposed to. I mean, basically what I'm saying is they'll tell you what you should be doing. They will give you a purpose. And that is something that American men, young American men, do not have. They do not have a purpose. But they're getting one from a good place too.
Man. That chicken smells really good.
Uh-oh. Your family's cooking some chicken?
My dad is. We've been out all day and haven't eaten anything. Been working for half of it.
Well, good.
I hit myself with some stairs.
How do you hit yourself with stairs?
It
Isn't that
fell.
called falling down?
No. The stairs fell down on me.
I would like to see that. That is.
It hurt.
You know where there are a lot of ethnic Russians in New York, because that's where my dad is from, Queens, New York. But Chicago has a little Poland, a little Russia. Like there's like a whole part of Chicago that is just Slavs. And then there's a little part of Chicago that's all Greeks. And then South Chicago is just a firing range.
Yeah, we had to take the stairs off from the front of this this trailer that we bought and put it on a trailer. And, it fell down, hit me in the chest, knocked the wind out of me.
Hey, how many levels did that hurt on?
It hurt. It was
All
tough
the
fun.
levels.
Nice, Dean. That was really good.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, it just knocked the wind out of me, really.
I hope you took the steps to ensure that wouldn't happen in the future.
Funny. I didn't hurt myself the second time.
So I was going to jump in on that too, you know.
Well, it didn't hit me taking it off the trailer. Just odd.
So.
Oh, we'll have to go back tomorrow to near Louisville and finish up all the taking the last bit of the the deck down and bring it back home.
Yep.
Fair enough. I'm
Louisville,
just glad to hear it's not as
part of Kentucky I have never went and never will. Actually, that's not true. I've never been to Paducah either, and I have no interest of ever going either.
I've been near Paducah. I've also been to Louisville. My dad used to live in Louisville until he moved down here in Litchfield.
Poor guy. Nope, I've been to Lexington, London, Hazard, McKee, Pikeville.
I need to go to Frankfurt soon to go to that tank museum.
Yep.
But Timmy, I'm glad to hear you're okay. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been stairways to heaven.
Yeah. Could have been a stairway to heaven.
I'd hope not on that one.
Actually, that was totally not Led Zeppelin. That was Back in Black. And I don't even like AC/DC. I've never understood people who
pretty
do.
good.
Yeah,
I like AC/DC.
How you doing, Satya?
AC/DC's on that bad.
Yes, so much crazy shit going on, buddy. I mean, it's like,
Don't they know the election's not for a whole another year away?
well, that's just for the, and they will never win that one.
I certainly hope you are right.
No, they technically can't. With Texas redrawing the lines and Florida redrawing the lines, they're just not ever going to win.
Let's hope and pray that is in fact.
But the fact that an old man showed up at a university to shoot Charlie Kirk, that is some crazy shit. That's some crazy ass shit right there.
I'll be praying for Charlie on that one. I hope he's okay.
Well,
you know?
somebody said he's stable.
I heard that too.
I didn't hear that, but I'm not even a big fan of him, to be honest.
No, but I definitely don't think he deserved that, man. That's
I don't
terrible.
want anybody to die. I mean,
Well, I can't say that. I got a long list.
Quickly doesn't care for AC/DC that much either. I think
like
it's a combination of maybe I just was forced to listen to it way too much when I was a teenager.
It
ain't my aunt, man. She's a big fan.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. I like it.
One of the one of the rock bands I was in, that's all they wanted to play was AC/DC, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, I can see you getting tired after that.
Yeah.
Come on.
I would rather, like, if I had my druthers, instead of AC/DC, I'll take Pink Floyd, Black Sabbath, or Jethro Tull every time.
I would like the Saxon. I like Saxon myself.
Yeah, of course, the crazy leftists are probably all on Axe. You got the flu. Well, I mean, the good news is you get the flu, it sucks, and then you're immune to that flu for the next time. The bad news is the flu mutates very rapidly every year. So it's like,
oh shit.
To be fair, I haven't got the flu after a few years, so that's after not taking the flu vaccine ever. I quit after.
Oh, when I worked at the fire department, we had to take every vaccine like all the time.
That gotta
Right.
suck.
Yeah.
But our department did not force a single one of the guys to get a COVID shot.
That's good. I'd be
Yeah.
happy about that one.
But you had to get your Hep B bullshit, and you got your flu shot and your pneumonia shot. You know, like your yearly bullshit. And we got checked to make sure we didn't have tuberculosis or something. Because, you know, you deal with patients that got tuberculosis, right?
Yeah.
Somebody shot him in the neck, but he's in the hospital and stable, is what people were saying. See, here's the thing. For you guys who are not in America, which Satya, Andre, Quickly, American media will swear up and down that right-wing and alt-right people are always out here committing violence. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah, the right wing is too busy actually going to work, making the country run. They ain't got time for that shit. They got mortgages.
Yeah, and even that guy that shot up Christchurch that they try to claim was right-wing, that dude's manifesto mentioned Spiral the Dragon and all kinds of shit. The only reason they said he was right-wing because he mentioned they like PewDiePie, which I don't think liking PewDiePie makes you a right-wing person.
I don't think PewDiePie's a right-wing person.
Yeah, I don't think PewDiePie's right-wing, let alone, you know. But this guy was talking about Spiral the Dragon.
I don't know much about PewDiePie. It's just like I just remember him being, you know, a guy who liked talking about random things on the internet.
PewDiePie started out because I remember the old magic, playing horror games and screaming at the top of his lungs when he was like 15.
Yeah, that's about all I remember.
That got him a million plus 100 million followers.
Yeah.
He was also very lucky that
he hit it just the right time too.
Yeah.
It's not just that. It's YouTube. When you have fans in different countries, you get more automatically more traffic, and he lucky he started out in Sweden and then he moved to Italy later.
Well,
you won't like this stream
out in Sweden.
Very long.
He moved to the UK. And then he moved to Japan, and then I think Italy. You're a communist, and you love this stream. This stream loves you, and I pray to God one day you'll understand that communism is an evil ideology, and it's based around nothing but envy.
Yeah.
Even though the people at the top will try to fool the people at the bottom and tell them it's about equality and shit. It's not. It never has been. It never will be. And Karl Marx, who wrote the manifesto, was a Satanist. So, I mean, but hey, I'm not going to preach at you if that's what you want to do. You know what I mean? Knock yourself out. But, you know, to quote those old Vietnam vets I used to talk to, because I'm related to like 50 of them, wouldn't recommend it. Whenever I asked him about Vietnam,
man, I miss my papa
in the rocking chair and just be like, saw some stuff, wouldn't recommend it. It's like, okay, fair.
James, you're making me miss my papaws.
Right? I mean, that's a fair response. Saw some stuff, wouldn't recommend it. But of course,
that almost sounds like a quote stolen from me.
Well, like the song Copperhead Road, all of my relatives joined the army and went to Vietnam because they always draft the poor white trash hillbillies in it. So you're better off just joining.
Well, my papa joined just to get what he wanted to do, and he did have to go to Nam. He at least got to work on vehicles.
Yeah, mine was a tanker that was attached to a airborne unit, and he was in one of those little chaffies or whatever. Oh. And then later they put him in a Sheridan, and he hated it. But he made me a half sister. I have a 56 or 57-year-old Vietnamese half sister. I talked to her once, but I mean, we had to talk through like Google Translate because she don't speak English. She lives in Ho Chi Minh City. She's like a school teacher or something. And I'm like, well, darn. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Some things will never change. That's Hungar, one of Hungar's favorite songs.
Bruce Hornsby in the Range. I just heard that song this morning.
Exist on both extremes. I wish they lived on a different planet so they could continue their eternal war on each other.
I'm gonna have to go. I'll see you guys.
What is my thoughts on anime? I have almost all of the. I have almost all of the Berserk manga special editions. I love Berserk. I loved Frieren. I, of course, loved Cowboy Bebop because, I mean, come on. You have a good time trying to sleep, Satya, and hopefully those little trolls won't get you. We know the ones I'm talking about, those little white ones that run around Finland. Yeah, Berserk is my favorite. My brother has kind of yelled at me because we share a Crunchyroll account, and my brother's been like, dude, how many times are you going to watch Berserk? And I'm like, I don't know, every day. And he's like, you need to stop, you know, because I'm just watching Golden Age arc, Golden Age Memorial, the freaking Black Swordsman arc, just like, hell yeah. Moomins, yeah. Watch out for them. Well, I think Moomins might be good, right? I forget. But
Moomins are trolls, but they're like demi-human kind of trolls.
Yeah, they're little white things that live in the snow and stuff, like up in Finland.
Yeah.
But and then there's those other people that live way up in Finland that dress in the really, really bright clothes all the time. Sami or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, the Sami. They're always fun, like because they're actually a later incursion into Scandinavia and the north.
Right, and so they have all the really bright clothes, which is cool.
So
man.
I had fun conversations where like when I was in Canada, like some elderly pair of people. Oh, you're from Scandinavia. Basically, they wanted to know how much. What do you call it? How badly we are treated as Sami. Like, oh, and I was like, but we came first. Like literally, we came first.
Well, I know that Arch, formerly Arch Warhammer, got like a bunch of people were hating on him because he was talking about shooting Sami if he caught him on his property or something like that.
He called them what?
He said that if he caught any Sami on his property, he would like to give him the pew pew.
Ah, okay.
He's Norwegian though.
Yeah.
But apparently in Norway, they're not big fans of those real northern people.
Like the only stereotype I know about the Sami is basically the men have herds, the women have government jobs.
Yeah, they do the reindeer thing. They're up there, they're raising reindeer and butchering them for meat and stuff. And I mean, if reindeer tastes like normal deer, then, you know, I'm not opposed. Throw a backstrap at me here now and then, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll be okay with that.
Like, I don't know how bad they are, what do you call it, in Arch Negative. I just know they're not gypsies.
I think Arch, deep down inside, as a Norwegian, just hates everyone who's not Norwegian. Because I know he really dislikes Swedes.
Oh, that's
I haven't heard him talking shit about Danes, but man, I've heard him go off on Swedes. He is not a fan.
I mean, it's pretty normal for us to throw things back and forth. Yeah. And depending on where you're from, you're either throwing up, down, or left, or right, in case of the Swedes, I suppose.
Right, I get it. But I was thinking of a nickname for our friend Shrimantha. I need to remember it. It's been a very long time. Does anyone here remember what the name of the horse was in Animal Farm?
No, not ringing a bell.
Have you ever read Animal Farm?
A long, long time ago.
Used to be required high school reading, but I guess they stopped that.
I don't think I read Animal Farm either.
Well, the thing with the horse, and the reason the horse comes to mind instead of like Nero or you know, one of the pigs or whatever, is because the horse was not super smart, but he 100% believed everything that Nero said. And of course, Nero was a stand-in for Stalin. And then one day when the horse was working on Boxer, the horse was working on something and he got injured. And they had all been promised, you know, the socialist utopia. If you ever got hurt, the state would take care of you, right? But what happened is on the DL, Nero, the pig, sold Boxer to a glue factory. After he got hurt so much they couldn't work, he just liquidated him.
Turned him into glue?
Yeah. Well, he didn't. The thing is that the whole thing starts off with the first pig that's supposed to be Marx ranting about capitalism and this and that, right? Well, then the one pig wants to take over, but Nero runs him off. That's Trotsky. And then the pig that manages to take over is Stalin. And then you have all the animals, right? And the whole time they're talking about how much they hate capitalism while they're being capitalists, but only the top guys. Everyone beneath is being worked like peasants. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the chickens couldn't keep their eggs anymore because Nero needed to sell the eggs. So the idea of we must take the means of production went right out the window as soon as it was convenient for Nero. And then, of course, Boxer, who had worked himself to death on the promise of a utopia, just got liquidated. You know, it was all a lie. Pretty much like the USSR was. Thank God Orthodox Christianity destroyed the communists.
How did they do that?
Okay. Okay. The people, and I have the book by Bishop Ware. In Russia, under the Soviet Union, the Christians are heavily persecuted, and they refer to that as the age of the churches in caves. And the KGB was constantly trying to infiltrate Christians so that they could throw them in the gulags, right?
Yeah.
The problem is some of these Christians grew to power, even though the government didn't know. And one big name that comes to mind is Vladimir Putin, who was taken by his grandmother and his mother to the church to be baptized in secret. And his dad didn't know because his dad was a communist member of the party, right?
Yeah.
So Vladimir Putin kept all that shit under his hat the whole time. And many, many other people like him. You see what I mean? And as soon as the Soviet Union collapsed, which it was guaranteed it was going to, gone. And what's it replaced by? Pretty much a theocracy. I mean, if you really look into Russia, I mean, Vladimir Putin has one of the patriarchs, I think Kirill, is his personal confessor. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And see, he rose to power all of the cathedrals pretty much that Stalin had destroyed, he's rebuilt. And he's passed many, many laws that are definitely 100% pro-orthodoxy. So, yeah, that's basically it. Because I will tell you something, Dean. I don't know if anyone's ever told you this before, but it's free. Christianity only gets stronger when you oppress it. That's why it sucks right now in America. Because in America, no one's oppressed. We have everything. We have our 6-pack of beer. We have our hamburger. We can watch our sports ball on TV. We're not oppressed. We're not whatever, right? So our spiritualism and faith is very weak. But then look at a country like Syria, where Christians are literally being beheaded. And a guy walks up to you with a knife and says, deny Christ, refute Christ, or I'm going to cut your head off. And the Christian says, cut my head off. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That is the strength of Christianity versus any other ideology. The more you try to destroy it, the stronger it gets. And the more zealous the believers of it get.
Well, they don't realize that by doing what they're doing, they're actually proving the religion to be real.
Well, because Christ said that the world would hate you. You don't become a Christian because
they're just reaffirming the truth
for you. Christ says that if you become a Christian, the world will hate you in his sake, for his sake. Yeah, Somalia. It's like any country where you have an oppressed Christian group that's being murdered and stuff, those dudes just get more and more hardcore until they're all martyred out. Which, I mean, you know, if Christianity is true and what they believe is true, and they got martyred, that's a one-way ticket to heaven. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't know how you could say if.
Because I have faith, but I don't know.
I can never picture saying that ever again.
I have faith, but I don't know. That means I have faith that my religion is 100% correct, but I can't prove it.
Well, that's the point of faith. That's why it's called faith and not fact.
Aha! See?
Well, it's designed to be unprovable.
So now you're agreeing with me.
No, if it was provable, we wouldn't call it faith. And the faith was designed to be unprovable. Otherwise, there would be no test.
Which means when I say I have faith, but I don't know,
I know.
I'm saying the exact same thing you are. Shadow, come on. Don't play theology with me. You'll never win.
Weren't you the one who was just saying don't underestimate me?
Oh, I don't underestimate you. But there are some things I've studied, and that is one of them. I mean, the Bible itself tells you no one knows. Like 100 times, it tells you no one knows. No one knows when that day will be. No one knows who goes and who stays. No one knows this and that except for God.
Yeah, that's kind of a different thing, though.
Right. So you can have faith, but you can never truly know until you die and hopefully get to stand on the steps beneath the throne. Right?
Well,
but until that time happens, you can never truly know.
Then let me just say my faith is unshakable.
That means you have faith. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's literally faith. I don't even know what you're arguing about now.
Well, no, there's a reason why there's a word called faith, and then there's another word called fact. It's designed to be unprovable. Otherwise, there would be no test. People would just eventually just learn, oh, like science, this is just a fact.
Sure would be easier if it were that way, wouldn't it?
Well, then there would be no test, and there would be no point for us even coming down to Earth to be tested.
I'm just saying it sure would be easier.
It gets easier.
Like if an angel would just show up and say, "Hey guys, this is the right way to be. Stop
I
worrying."
mean, there are angels that said that, and that were unfortunately the ones in rebellion.
Yeah. You don't want to be like them.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
But
Well, basically, if I'm understanding it correct, what you're arguing, Shadow, that the need for you're basically arguing for free will, that like if we just knew it was right, there would be no choice.
Right, unless you're
yeah.
retarded or stubborn or vindictive or yeah. We have to have that element of unknowableness. Otherwise, we would all just go, "Yes, sir."
Yeah.
And God doesn't want that. He had that. They were called angels, and
look how that worked out.
right. It looks like us chaotic monkeys were good for something after all.
I mean, we are created in his image for a reason, even if we aren't supposed to be gods.
Right. So what the heck do the angels actually look like then? Are they really like eyeball things?
The ones that look like giant eyeballs surrounded by rings of eyeballs with like 8 wings also covered with eyeballs?
Yeah.
Or the ones that look like flaming circles all spinning inside of each other?
And to answer that they're supposed to look at different ways, but they're also created in an image of God. So yes, some of them have human forms, other has more abstract forms.
The seraphim have 4 faces, and they have 2 sets of wings, and the top set of wings is constantly covering their face because they stand by the throne of God. Cherubim generally had human heads but animal bodies. There are choirs of angels from lesser to greater. The greatest angels are the seraphim, and of the seraphim, the greatest are the archangels. So like Michael, Gabriel. But ultimately, they are also of the order of the seraphim, who sometimes appear as flaming serpents or just creatures of living fire. But they can take human forms too. All of them can,
Yeah.
Whenever
I mean, it is theorized that the Watchers mentions in Genesis 6 that they were seraphim.
Yeah, that's where you end up getting in trouble. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying the Watchers got in trouble, and that was Samael and Azazel and that bunch that, saw human women bathing and couldn't control their lust. And then from that, you get the giants. Not a good thing. The Nephilim, which were the great men that were on the earth in the old days, until the flood wiped them all out. In theory, maybe. Who knows? But that was the point of the flood, was because all of humanity, except for Noah and his immediate family, had become so corrupted. They were corrupted at a genetic level. They were beyond redemption. And it was because of the interbreeding with the fallen angels.
I mean, it probably wasn't not. Oh, okay. Let me try to say that back again. It probably weren't not only that. It was probably also like some of them like probably instead of trusting in God, like he gave them a chance to like, oh, see what Noah is doing. This is what is coming. And some of the other prophets also, they probably like hybridized themselves and so forth instead of trusting in God and thinking they could survive whatever is coming.
In some old Jewish writings, and also Chris Lee, you're absolutely correct. In some old Jewish writings, it says that the Nephilim had children by vicious women, and those become the mermaids.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and eventually God sent his sons down to start killing Nephilim, and by sons, that's Gabriel and Michael, and because no Nephilim could ever survive against an archangel. So,
Yeah, that kind of reminds me. People always talk about what do you call it, like, oh, I want to make like an antediluvian setting for like an RPG. Yes, let's drag it back to that. And there is one question they never think about: before or after the Nephilim was slain? Because after, you are having this world where like a lot of things are like being cut in pieces, and like there's been magic all over the place, and there is these giant corpses stinking all the places up.
that
possibly also
would
being harvested.
That would be wild, man. Because it's like, I get what you're saying. Because you would be like, okay, you're going to make an ancient setting, like before Noah or after Noah.
Well, it's not even that. Is it before the Nephilims were slain or after?
Right.
Because that means a lot.
Yeah. Quickly, I mean, the fact that you're cool with it means the world to me. It is my understanding and experience that most people in the UK and Europe are just not religious at all. Which is sad, because the only thing that will save you from Islamic domination is a return to the church. That is it. If you guys keep playing, because if you guys keep playing, well, I don't really believe in God, but the Muslims, they really do believe in their God, right? Then it's like you're trying to play culture versus culture, but you've got an arm behind your back tied. Because what can you fight them with? You can say, hey, that's just not what we do here in England. Yeah. And they'll say, F you, because my holy book says it is. Even though it's not a holy book, because Allah is actually Baal from the Bible.
I mean, I've seen a few different, what do you call it, interpretation of what it is. Another one is also he's the principality named as like the Prince of Persia. The one that blocked one of the angels from doing his job temporarily.
Right.
What?
One of the principalities.
No, with James Lowry.
Being a lot of reports that Mr. Charlie Kirk has passed. Get out of here. Well, martyred for his cause, if that is true. Let me look. In other news, my computer started running Dune again.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. They released a patch, and okay. Yeah, their listing died September 10, 2025.
Really?
Yep.
That sucks.
Yeah.
He was at Utah Valley University having a, whatever it is he does. And he was shot in the neck.
That's fucked up.
Okay, let's keep checking though. and make sure. Details, early details. Okay, details. See, other than the one thing on like Wikipedia or whatever, where it gave like his death date, I'm not seeing where it's saying whether he died or not. You know, I'm not reading anywhere about that.
That would be just like certain folks to say shit that ain't true.
Yeah.
The first time.
Nope. It's saying he did die at the hospital. The shot was fired from a building roughly 200 yards away. Older male taken into custody. Later reported that the man taken into custody was not the suspect, who remains at large. His wife and children were there when he was shot. This was professional.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking the same thing earlier. Not that it's a hard shot, but
200 yards, and they've narrowed down that the shooter's location was the Losi Center rooftop. So a 200-yard shot, he only fired once, and it was a hit to the neck. That sounds, in my military opinion, like a professional job right there. You know, snipers never fire twice. Trained snipers never fire twice.
they don't need to.
Well, it's not that. It's that the human ear cannot determine the direction a gunshot comes from if it's one. Like if you're ever walking around and you hear a gunshot, you'll look around and be like, where'd that come from? You won't know. But when the second shot goes off, you will know. You see what I mean? So as a sniper, when you're in your position, you shoot one time and then you get the hell out. Right? Never shoot from the same position twice. Because no matter how badass of a sniper you think you are, if it's just you and your spotter out in the middle of the weeds and a platoon of infantrymen come hunting you, you're going to get killed. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but also if you hit the target in the neck, you kind of don't need to make another shot, do you?
Well, he could have been aiming for the head and didn't take into account drop.
Yeah.
He was probably aiming center of the head, but the round dropped and hit him in the throat. Hey, what's up, Bubba? Yeah, so Charlie Kirk, a young guy who just liked to talk shit on college campuses, has been murdered by a leftist assassin. That is what has happened.
Somebody who got freaking butt hurt, or somebody who got paid an awful lot of money because someone else got butt hurt. Fucking pussies.
I tell you what, these lefties are going to keep this shit up until they go that 1 inch too far, and they're going to find themselves up against a wall. And they'll wonder how it happened, but I won't wonder. You know what I mean? They'll be like, what? What? And he'll be like, sorry, but you guys all have to be liquidated now. You know? I mean, that's how this shit works, man. Acts of violence like this do not make things cooler. They heat them up, you know?
Yeah.
So like sometimes I feel like we're living in the Weimar Republic. And it's like 1933. You know what I mean? All this crazy shit's going on. You got communists running around trying to do shit. The supposed alt-right, I don't even know who they are, unless I'm one of them. And I'm not sure about that. Because, I mean, you know, who knows? And all of this political violence going on, which, I mean, this is 100% the fault of the Democrats, even if they didn't, even though they may not have paid or known anything about it. The media, the Democrat media, and their constant, this is the death of democracy bullshit. And this guy and that other guy are all fascist Yahtzees bullshit is what is causing these people to be crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a crazy person and you just keep telling that crazy person that some other guy is going to be the doom of everything, don't be surprised when the crazy person gets a gun and tries to kill the guy.
Hey,
Because
Bubba, why don't you come join us?
he's justified in doing it. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how could it be bad to kill the devil? Right?
Well, because I'm pretty sure there's a commandment says thou shalt not.
Thou shalt not commit murder upon the innocent. Get it right
Well,
if you're going to quote it. You can kill people in war.
I was going to say, because nobody's innocent, so.
No, innocent would be children, women.
Okay.
You know, the innocent.
Children, I'll give you.
But soldiers in a war, you absolutely. Now, if you're in the Orthodox Church, you have to wait like 2 or 3 years before you can take communion again, because, you know, you've got to completely purify yourself from the horrible things you may have been forced to do. But, yeah, you can do it. And that is the problem. Because these people are convincing these know-nothing idiots, these useful idiots, I would say, that all the people they don't like are such horrible human beings that it makes it easy for the idiots to justify anything. Anything, you know? And the media has spent since the election, well, hell, the media has spent since 2016 demonizing Trump and anyone who voted for him. And thus, Trump has already had 2 assassination attempts on his life.
That we know of. I thought it was.
That we know of. And the one in Pennsylvania was probably set up by the governor of Pennsylvania.
What, the July 13th or whatever?
Yeah, the kid on the roof. That
No. I honestly think it was Jill Biden and the head of the Secret Service working together.
It wasn't Joe Biden.
Jill Biden.
Jill. Okay. Yeah,
she and the head of the Secret Service were best
Joe
buddies.
because Joe didn't know where the hell he was.
Jill and the head of the Secret Service at the time were like best buddies.
Maybe.
And lo and behold, you know, shit happens when, you know, because of a complete lack of the Secret Service doing their damn job. They have one job, and they couldn't even get any part of it right.
Right.
And the one time, every news media outlet was there waiting for it to happen when they wouldn't show up to anything else, but they were all there for that night, that afternoon.
What did BLM say?
I think it's relation to the stabbing that something about oppression and it's well that violence is okay to fight back with or something like that.
It's okay to stab a Ukrainian immigrant because of something that happened 400 years ago. That makes a lot of sense if you're retarded.
It's hard to find now because I will have to scroll up a day to find people talking about it. Let's see.
Yeah. There are days I wake up and wonder if there's a race war going on in America and no one told me about it. And that would suck since I come from a mixed family. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want there to be a race war because I have nephews and nieces and stuff that are, mixed race. That's
yeah. Well,
but
it's not really,
green lighting racial violence. Well, they're not doing it in Florida. I can tell you that. Try that shit around here, and that's a FAFO moment for sure. But Salty Cracker just had a thing on his thing where some kid in St. Petersburg tried to bullshit the cops and run. They ran him down and beat his ass, shoved him in the car. It was like, and the whole way to the station, he's like, "Your people used to make my people slaves," and bitching and bitching and bitching. And the cop driving him was just like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Whatever." See, Hungar got my the name of my channel.
Hey, Hungar.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girlie who looked good. I would call her. I wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" Impala. No Skilo fans over here.
Who's Skilo?
Dun, 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 dun. Hello. Anyway.
Who's Skilo?
Skilo, Skeelo, was a rapper from like the 90s. And his big hit was I Wish. And the whole song is about him wishing he was taller.
Yeah.
So that he could play basketball and get the girl he likes. But unfortunately, he's like 5'4" or 5'5". And like he talks about, he goes down to the park to play basketball, and he's always picked last, and in some cases never picked at all. And he's got set up on the wall or set up in the bleachers with the ladies who are there to watch their man ball. And he's just a short guy, and his one wish is that he could be tall. I wish I was deaf so I didn't have to just listen to that. Quickly. Wow. That was good. Yes, I do not have the rap gene, whatever that gene might be. I don't have it. I have the get drunk and sing Irish, bar songs and IRA fight songs. I can sing Come Out Ye Black and Tans if you want. I'm pretty good at that one. I'm pretty good at the Foggy Dew. I'm pretty good at Nothing Compares to You. That should be it.
James, do you want to fix your window or?
What's wrong with my window? Oh, Oh
Yeah,
no!
instead of
Twice
dodging
I'm
the
not allowed to have my flag hanging there anymore. So I'm just host until the
that's
sun
fair.
sets in about
I'll be right back. Hold on
30
a second,
minutes.
gents.
I just wanted to make sure you were. It wasn't just you being stubborn.
Oh no! I had my Byzantine flag up there, and apparently some HOA busybody came by and had to let everyone know that you can't have flags in the window because somebody may be offended by whatever flag you have in your window. And I'm like, that's a Byzantine flag. Who's going to be offended by that?
The Italians, I suppose.
No. Constantinople was in Turkey.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's more like a joke on like, oh, who is Rome?
Well, I mean, Rome was Rome, but Eastern Rome was Rome too.
Yeah.
That's like saying, who is America? Well, New York is America, and so is Idaho. But
man, I heard so many Argentinians that wish that the US of A would change their name.
To like what?
Just to something so they're not America, because America is the continent.
Yeah, but we're the only part of it that matters.
Yeah, I understand that.
Snow
It's
Mexicans
funny,
to the north of us, normal Mexicans to the south of us, and here I am stuck in the middle with you.
Specifically the Argentinians, that it really borders like they
well,
say.
The Argentinians are going to keep effing around, and they're going to find out.
Gotcha.
And like I told you the other day, my driver is Argentinian, and he hopes we invade. Because if we invade and get a good government back in charge of Argentina, he'll go home. Because, he's got a green card and he can legally be here. But if he had a choice, he would like to go home. But he can't because, Maduro would have him murdered. So he's got to stay here. I mean, that must suck, right?
Yeah.
Like, can never go home because somebody wants you dead. But Quick Lee with the quick freaking biting comeback over here.
Yeah, my mother used to have a saying, like when she heard someone sing like at a home or something, it's like, so where does it hurt again? It's vaguely how it translates to.
The smart-ass thing to say in America is, who sings that song? And then when the person tells you the name of the band, you say, I think you should let them. You know what I mean? That's our witty American one. I had to stop watching social media. I started to feel like I was from Nepal.
Hey, I'm glad to hear that you're feeling young again, Hungar.
Like a Gurkha? I mean, I don't understand what Nepal's got to do with anything.
So Nepal, well, some people say it's a color revolution, others say it's a revolution, but basically, they dragged out their finance minister in his underwear and threw him in a river. And it's kind of funny because, like, he has some really colorful underwear, not like what do you call it?
Fruit of the Looms.
Basically, they're not gay; they're just very colorful.
So he wasn't wearing some tidy whities. He had some fancy underwear on, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, basically they call it the Sumo Rebellion or something like that because it's mostly young men.
It's always young men.
Oh yeah.
What do you think will happen in the United States when the majority of young men are hardcore Orthodox Christians?
Constantinople or Russia?
The United States will all of a sudden have laws being passed that are a lot more in line with what you see in Eastern Europe than Western Europe.
Hmm.
That's how it works. I would bet that if orthodoxy ever takes control of the United States, women will lose the right to vote.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That'll definitely be a thing.
I mean, Russia only like have that in their thing still because they like inherited from the USSR.
Right. I mean, things are changing, you know? So, Bubba, you got a game tonight? I think at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, Double D will be on tonight. I think tonight's Double D. I'm just sitting here painting up these goofy frickin' Star Frontiers characters. I got some Yazarians. That's right. Humanoid tree squirrels. Yes, we talked about that. That's like that is a horrible thing. And I definitely hope that people are found and dealt with forthright. You know, it's like, I mean, this is United States. We're not supposed to behave that way, you know? We're not like supposed to be some South American freaking third world banana republic where people are running around assassinating other politicians, like say Mexico. You know, that's not what we're supposed to be like.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, it's what we are like. And I'm not a huge fan of it, to be brutally honest. I think it's not good. It is not good. Or Germany. Did you hear, like, it's either 7 or 14 German politicians have died in the last couple of weeks.
It was 10 last time I heard, but yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's statistically impossible.
And they're all members of the AFD party or some shit.
Yeah. Hey, Hungar.
Yeah, you see that news?
Oh, what's up, Hungar?
Somebody.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Charlie
Kirk. No, that's what we.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, we know.
Well,
I think it was probably professionally done.
Democrat dude.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
they
that's
haven't
it turned out it wasn't him, so they let him go.
Yeah, basically, Hungar. They thought at first it was him. Then they found out that it should have been done for 200 yards away or something like that.
Right.
Which it couldn't be him, obviously.
Right.
Unless he can teleport, but we doubt that.
Right.
I just found out. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It was not on my 2025. I can play Dune again, by the way.
Oh, Doom. I thought you said Doom.
Dune.
Yeah.
That's good. Me and Greg were out this morning.
The patch they did the other day made it where my computer wouldn't run it anymore. It kept saying that my Ryzen 7 AMD chipset had some kind of conflict.
Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. So I sent them a bunch of bug reports and bitched, and then today I woke up and tried to log on, and it worked.
We were having trouble with Roll20 last night in Bloodworth's game. Almost got canceled, which would have sucked. And speaking of Bloodworth, he and Bubba are in my Savage Swords game tonight at 5.
Well, you gotta get ready then.
I got almost 3 hours.
I was gonna say it's getting near there.
Yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm ready. I
But
hope
yeah,
Bubba's going to make it.
Yeah, Hungar, your internet sucks. Nothing new, but just FYI.
But yeah, James,
I'm changing
do
it.
so. You had,
Yeah, no one can understand anything you're saying, bro.
oh, he disconnected. So James,
Probably for the
Dune
bad.
is the franchise I some kind jokingly say is about. Would you still follow me if I was a worm?
If you were a worm,
If I was a worm, would you still follow me? That's my joking synopsis of Dune.
oh, because of Leto the Second,
Yeah.
yeah, who had to kill his own father.
Okay, I don't know that much. I just know that like he slowly turns into a worm over the course of however long, and they made him the perfect woman after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he really wanted that woman to kill him, but he had to rule for 3,500 years to walk the golden path to make sure humanity would not go extinct. That was the whole thing with Leto the Second. So he was super oppressive. He was like a monumental dick. And Duncan, Idaho tried to kill him like literally 100 times. And he kept killing Duncan, but then he'd have him brought back as a Gola. And I don't know how many times he must have did that, at least a couple hundred. And then when he found out that he had successfully done what he was trying to do, he allowed himself to be assassinated. And it caused a weird thing because when they killed him, they dumped him in water, and it caused all the makers, the sand trout, to rip away from his body and go into the dirt. And of course, sand trout eventually become worms, right? Every worm from then on had a splinter of Duke Leto's conscience. So
I hate when that happens.
yeah, so the worms weren't intelligent, but they all had just a splinter of his conscience. And then they renamed him from Shai Hulud to Shai Tan, which of course is Arabic for Satan. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war and demons, and war against the demons. Yeah, I sold a unopened box set of Warhammer 40K Indomitus yesterday for 200. I was asking 250, but since the guy drove from Melbourne to here, which is like an hour drive, I cut a deal with him and got 225. And he was happy. So, you know. And then I sold a box of other stuff for like $500. And I'm getting ready to put my demon army up on the market. I have a pretty huge Slaanesh army with a Keeper of Secrets, a Herald of Slaanesh, all of the demons and everything. You know, we'll see what I charge for it, though. I have been just really unloading all of my 40K stuff. I am, however, keeping all of my Horus Heresy stuff.
I figured. That is the game that you said like a year ago that you are still playing.
Yeah, I can never, ever get rid of my... I mean, definitely I can never get rid of my Sanguinius. My dad got that for me.
Yeah.
That's the big angel, so...
Yeah, I know who Sanguinius is. He's the guy who got stabbed.
Yeah. Got to take off, James. Cool stream. Yep, you have a good one quickly. And I don't know any good British goodbyes, so goodbye.
Try not to get stabbed.
Cheers. Yeah, try not to get stabbed. I don't think Quickly's in London. Try not to get stabbed. Yeah. Make sure you have all your licenses correct. Your licenses. You got license for that opinion? Britain.
I know you're a hairdresser, but need that scissor at home.
Right.
Man, that
England,
also
the country where you really can go to prison for running with scissors.
Yeah. But though we also had an accident like that. What do you call it? Not running with scissors, but like people getting arrested for like having knife they weren't supposed to.
Really?
It was a short period after. Oh, we need more sharper laws against gangs, and then like the police were like, at least these policemen did it on purpose just to show that this is what the law says.
It's a
So it could come in the news. But basically, they arrested. I don't remember if it was a gardener or actually a hairdresser, like someone who goes to some people's places that like, oh, he had it in his car. It doesn't matter, like it's for work. He is not at work right now. And they did it at least they did it intentionally to like show, oh, this is on the books. Let's get into the news.
Interesting. In America, the knife rule is basically depends on the length of the knife. So I've got a Moro knife. So like the Swedish military knife or camping knife.
Yeah.
And I can carry that on my belt all day long because the blade is only like 3 inches long or something. Now, if you're hiking or camping in the state of Florida, you can carry a knife of any size with you. I mean, you can damn near carry a machete if you want. And you can carry any kind of firearm you want right out in the open. So if you go down to the nearest pond and throw bait in the water, you can have your AR on your back. That's legal.
Yeah.
Now, the cops are going to come and talk to you. And I hope you don't have any other warrants or any other shit like that out.
Right?
Because they are going to be running your shit. But it's illegal. And some people do it on purpose just to F with the cops, you know? Because they know if you go to a public beach, like Melbourne Beach, and you throw the line in, but you got a freaking AK-47 sitting next to you, someone is calling the cops. It's going to happen. And then they pull that. It's kind of like these idiots we got over here that are like free citizens. So every time the cops pull them over, they're like, I don't respect your authority because I am a naturalized free citizen American or something.
Oh yeah. There is a different version. There's the sovereign citizen and so forth and so on. Basically, a lot of people who mistakes old law of being on the books for laws that's actively enforced.
Right. Like the argument I heard from them is that they don't believe they have to listen to the police or judges or anything because the United States is currently being ruled under naval law.
Yeah.
And there's no actual federal law. And boy, I mean, you see these people arguing, and sometimes I just feel bad for the cops. Like sometimes it gets so frustrating. If I were the cop, I'd just be like, you know what? Go away.
Basically, the claim is that the United States of America is a corporation founded under like maritime law, so basically commercial law,
right?
And the only way to have like citizenship is through the states, which technically yes, but not anymore. And
some
then
of them
they
argue that we're still like owned by England or something.
That's either the City of London or the Vatican.
The City of London. Because the City of London is not England, it's a independent city-state.
Yeah.
That does its own thing. And but I mean, honestly, that just means the city of London is like the Vatican, as you mentioned, and like DC.
Yeah.
They're like incorporated areas, but they're not actually part of the nation that they're in, technically, kind of.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's wild, man. And, you know, you always see those guys online or whatever talking about it. But see, this guy, I'm starting him with a really bright green so that when I shade him down, he'll still be pretty green. But this is a Dralicite with a big ass rifle wearing a camouflage jumpsuit. As you can see, he's got 3 legs because you need the 3 legs to sturdy yourself if you're firing a heavy weapon.
Yeah.
But like in Star Frontiers, the special ability of the Dralicite is you divide your either reflex or dexterity, I'm not sure offhand right this second, by 10, and that's the number of limbs you can create. Because in a resting state, Dralicites just look like big bean bags. They're basically just like an amoeba, except with a dry outer layer.
Just think the Shmoo.
Right.
Remember that the cartoon character, the Shmoo?
Well, I don't know if they ever had that in Denmark, but so yeah. So how they make sound is they actually create a hollow space inside of them and squeeze air through it, like kind of like the same way bagpipes work.
Oh my God, that just writes the jokes just write themselves at that point.
But that's how they eat is they take the food and they put it next to their skin and they envelop it, and then they slowly digest it like an amoeba or any other. They literally are a gigantic single-celled organism.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that sounds like how it feels eating a bag of chips, like on the couch. You just slowly envelop it.
Yeah. So they're kind of cool though, because of all the races in the Star Frontiers game, they're like the most laid back. You know what I mean? They're just kind of like,
Well, they were born to chill. They're living beanbags.
right? I mean, they're like, I mean, imagine like if you're hanging out somewhere with your bros and somebody's like, man, I'm so tired. You could just be like, hold on a second. Turn into a chair. Like, you take a rest, bro. It's all good. I mean, would that be awkward? That might be a little awkward, though. You might feel weird about that. Be like, I don't know. But they don't have actual eyes or ears or anything. They do have like eye spots, but it only detects like light, like different levels of light, but not color. So they can see you, but all they see is shades of gray. And their whole body's covered with microscopically fine hair. And that's what they use to smell and hear with. Because vibrations in the air, the hairs move, and that's how they can basically hear. Amongst themselves, they communicate by basically dapping it out like a couple of homeboys. Like
I don't know what that means.
Okay, 2 Dralicites will roll up on each other and they'll start shaking hands and they'll start doing all that crazy slapping back and forth and all that, shit. That's how they talk. So it's like sign language, except you're touching the other being.
Yeah.
And you're just doing all this shit and maybe make an extra arm over here to wiggle some shit around, to add like some emphasis to something. I mean, but for humans and stuff, they can just, their bagpipe sounding voice, which is really deep, actually. One of their special abilities is if they really want to, they can basically create the air pocket and then unleash it all at once with like a lot of force, and it'll cause like creatures nearby to have to roll or go deaf, for a while, because they can basically yell really loud. Whereas the monkeys, hey, we's the monkeys, they lived on a slightly less than Earth gravity world, where they glide around all over the place from trees and stuff. And they were somewhat of a warrior race, and they tend to go berserker mode in combat when they get hurt. But the negative is, since they evolved on a much lighter gravity world, their bones and stuff like that are a lot more fragile than humans' bones. So if you run up on one, you could break its rib cage in with a kick.
I will say I would be a lot less afraid of a humanoid monkey. Okay, I know that's redundant, but you know what I mean. Like if their bones are like what do you call it? Like fragile, because
like bird bones.
Yeah, because normally you don't want to mess with apes or monkeys.
Right. Normally that is not on the to-do list. Of course, the good news is, like, silverbacks, they're not going to mess with you anyway.
Only like if you like that old woman who like, oh, I have a special connection. We are like looking in each other's eyes.
Yeah, don't look in the eyes.
No, don't do that. Don't do it every day for at least a year. And then when the gorilla breaks out, it only does it to find that woman and beat her up.
Because for a year straight, she was basically challenging his authority.
Yeah, every single day.
Every day. He's behind the it'd be like someone rolling up every day. You're behind the glass and just talking shit.
Yeah.
And eventually he got out and he's like, yeah, let me catch that bitch.
Yeah, and I think the only other person that got injured was like someone, they were in the way of him getting to her. And it was only like, oh, get away, kind of hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, great apes are pretty much awesome. Chimpanzees are pretty much demons in monkey meat.
And then there is...
They're just evil. Straight up evil.
Who are evil?
Chimpanzees.
Oh, yeah.
They have no concept of any sort of morality or anything.
I'm also kind of... baboons, I think they're called.
Oh, yeah, baboons?
Yeah, baboons. I'm also, how should we say...
not a fan?
Not a fan, so I know it's mostly like the North African... Okay, if there are one of those, I forgot. No, wait, they got them from Central Africa and Ethiopia. Okay, but basically, the ones that had in North Africa, they had those because not only are they good grapplers, they're also, what do you call it? Good at doing a lot of damage real quickly. But the problem is baboons is they maim you and make sure to take you out of the gene pool instead of killing you.
Same as
so they will bite off nose, ears, genitals.
Yep. One of the first targets from a chimp attack will always be the genitals.
Oh, that's also baboons.
Yep, I believe it. I mean, and then you got the bonobos who just hang out and have sex all the time.
Bonobos are a curious bunch, but I have friends that like, because the feminists have written so many articles of how special bonobos are and how they should be, what do you call it, an example to us. They joke that like, oh, they want to build a, what do you call it? So they, geographically, the only thing that separates the bonobos from like other chimpanzees is that that there's like no land bridge. But they're going to joke they're going to build a land bridge if a feminist writes another article like that again.
And let the normal chimpanzees roll across there and just F them up.
But
recently, an animal that everyone thought was a myth that the Africans were just making up, they actually got pictures of. The lion killer chimpanzee. It's a chimpanzee that when it stands straight up on its hind legs is like 6.5 feet tall.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, they're bigger than a great ape. The lion killer. Some Africans hunted one and they got pictures of it. And it's just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna hard pass that one.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want to fight with anything that is called the Lion Killer.
I don't want to be caught dead in freaking Africa.
See, I'd love to go to Africa. I need to before I die so I can bless the rains.
Uh huh. I knew you were
But
going there,
James,
dude.
there's already no vampires there.
Yeah, but hopefully I'll find an old man along the way and ask him if he knows any, folk tales or hidden legends. Whatever. In addition to that, Toto was also the studio band for Michael Jackson.
That's neat.
Except for the one riff in Beat It, which was done by Eddie Van Halen. And he forgot to ask for money. So he never got paid. Even though that album did better than the album his band, Van Halen, released. Because Beat It and 1984 were released pretty much about the same time. And Beat It killed 1984, Even though I was more likely to be listening to 1984 than Beat It.
Yeah. Right.
Because,
And real quick concerning Bonape, but those Peaceful Monkey we just talked about.
The Bonobos.
Bonobos?
I've never heard of those guys.
No,
bonobos are basically a kind of chimpanzee that people like to mystify and say they handle all their problems through sex and this, that, and the other thing. Those people are full of shit. Because people who have actually studied them have said, they're chimpanzees.
Yeah,
they're still up to no good. You know what I mean?
They also, have a higher rate, of infanticide. That was what we're going to into than chimpanzees. Because, they don't have.
If you want to have children with the mom, you got to take care of the baby.
Well, not only that, is also just as a general, the mother didn't necessarily want that. They just wanted the food or something like that. Yeah,
because these chimpanzees, the females will trade sex for food for males, and then if they get pregnant, they don't want the baby, so they'll kill it.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing with bonobos, that people think they are a miracle, but unfortunately there's that thing.
Yeah, they're basically
called reality.
Yeah,
basically what happened is a long time ago, like in the 1920s, a bonobo female was born named Bonobo Sanger. And she started talking to them about Planned Parenthood and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, that's a great idea. And that's what they've been doing ever since.
I was going to say, so the oldest profession is actually interspecies as well?
No, Margaret Sanger is the one who came up with the idea of eugenics.
No, I know who she is. I was talking about the previous
abortion clinics near every black neighborhood. She wanted to get rid of the Irish too. She was not a fan of papists. So the whole idea was to abort all the Irish and black babies. It's pretty funny because Babylon Bee put out a skit where a progressive goes back in time to kill Adolf Hitler. And they start talking, and it turns out the progressive agrees with everything Adolf Hitler believes. She's like, look, I'm a educated progressive, and I'm trying to create a utopian society. We just got to get rid of some undesirables. And Hitler's like, really? I believe that too. And she's like, I would never do whatever. I'm a vegetarian. And Hitler's like, me too. and then she's wearing a Planned Parenthood shirt. And she's like, oh, you like Planned Parenthood? And she's like, yes. I stand up for women's rights. He's like, I love Margaret Sanger. So brilliant. I think I'll put some stuff about her in my book. You know what I mean? And the progressive just standing there being like, and then the progressive ain't even got a gun. They've got like a flare gun. And he's like, you don't have a gun. It's a flare gun. She's like, well, I don't believe in guns, violence. If I had my way, I'd take guns away from all the people. And of course, Hitler is like, yes, take guns away from all the undesirables. And yeah. And then in the end, like after they get done arguing about whether she should kill him or not, she said, you know, that painting you're working on is actually really good. What's it called? And he tells her the name in German, which is a Deutschland without Juden. And she's like, I'm not sure what that means, but I like it.
But yeah, Shadow, to answer your question about the oldest profession, consistently, even if it's not like impression, if it's open, like what do you call it, animal reservations instead of like no cage animals or zoo animals. Consistently, when you introduce the rare fruit to monkeys, they will trade it with the females.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it is also interspecies the oldest, profession.
Not even a little surprised.
I think it's true of all the hominid types.
I think gorillas, what do you call it, are a little different, but that's also because they're a lot more pair bonding.
Now, I'll bear joins when I'm about to end the stream.
Of course I do.
Now, who you really don't want to talk about getting up to stuff is dolphins. Dolphins get a lot of pretty privilege because of Flipper. But if you look into the shit they be getting into out in the ocean, it's nightmarish.
Oh, dolphins, yeah. So, Bear, what do you want to talk about, Hitler or monkeys?
Good night, folks.
I was going to say, that's all he wrote.
Wow. No, I was actually coming in just to see what was going on because I was over on the Old Geek Show and I'm about to go eat supper, so I thought I'd come and say hi here before I did that.
Hi.
Plus, no one wants to talk about Charlie Kirk over there, obviously. So yeah,
fair enough.
And we've already been through our what the fuck moments with that.
I'm telling you, like, what the fuck is going on in your country, man? Like, what's happening down there?
And it's pissing me off because I was like making fun of Canada last week. Now I'm just like gobsmacked. I can't even Canada. I don't even know if I can talk shit about Mexico anymore. We're starting
you can always take
more
talk
banana
shit
republic than fucking Mexico.
You can always talk shit about Mexico.
My only fear, and this is my only fear.
Let's hear it.
Is a response from the right, from the extreme right, right? So we know this is the extreme left doing this crazy shit. I am terrified of the response from the extreme right because at the end of the day, the extreme right is much better at violence.
Well, the last time anyone you could consider extreme right did something, it was the ephemeral building.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the problem of it all, right?
Right. Because a lot of your military combat vets tend to lean right.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just, your country is in bad shape. My country's in bad shape. I think the Western world is in pretty bad shape. Right?
Yeah. I think we can all agree on
and
that.
It's because we've let a bunch of
the shooter, but they didn't.
No, they didn't. And the problem is the reason why our fucking countries are in such bad shape is we let two fucking groups control the world: corporations and career politicians. And between the two of them, they're fucking us right into the water.
Maybe this is how it goes, though.
Well, when tyranny becomes the rule of law, rebellion is your duty, right? That's what Thomas Jefferson said. Yeah.
And the tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of patriots.
Yep.
But I was thinking more esoteric, like maybe it's just natural that like civilizations rise and fall in a cyclical manner.
That's absolutely natural. And the problem is they used to get 1,000 years out of a civilization.
Well, because life used to be hard, but life being so easy for Western man has made us much weaker, much faster compared to, say, your Romans, who still had to be pretty tough, even toward the end, Yeah. I mean, you still had...
And one of the sad points of history is the turning point that when leftism and immorality and debauchery and gender fluidity and all these things we're seeing today start arriving in a culture, it starts to collapse the culture and then set it up properly for an actual dictatorship, militant, fascistic, whatever the case you want to call it, to take power. And that's history. History has shown us that time and time again, right? So all these fucking moron students out there screaming that they're anti-fascists don't realize they're fueling the fire.
That they actually are the fascists.
Well, there's that. That's not even here nor there. The fact that they're just accelerating the collapse into fascism.
Yeah. Pre-1916, 17 Russia was full of people who believed the promise in all these freedoms they would have if they only towed the line with the Mensheviks or the communists.
Yep.
And then the Mensheviks actually won the election at the end of the rebellion, but the commies rolled in and kicked their asses and said no.
Yep.
And then all of those people who thought things were going to get great got crushed.
Yeah.
And it's like, it seems like, and honestly, I mean, yes, they were communists, but under Stalin, that's kind of a weird kind of totalitarian. It's almost like feudalism pretending to be communism.
I think the problem for me is that I was just trying to get my brain around that poor Ukrainian girl in South Carolina.
Jesus. Yeah, I know.
And
right?
then as I'm processing all that, I'm getting all these messages about Charlie Kirk, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on in America? What is happening?
honestly,
After it was definitely racially motivated.
Oh my god, he literally is on audio walking away saying, "I got that white bitch." You know, come on.
Yeah.
Come
so, which is why it happened 2 weeks ago, but we didn't hear about it until like yesterday.
oh no, we heard about it. It's just not on the regular news.
Right.
Yeah, I know that.
I honestly think, we were talking about how it was a professional hit. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't partially motivated to get us to stop talking about her, because she is the exact kind of martyr a lot of people in this country would go to war for.
Yep.
Which is
and just
there doesn't want.
That's the problem, right? And then now this Charlie Kirk, this is like, oh fuck, like I used to say in the 90s, I said America is about 20, 30 years away from a second civil war. I used to say that in the 90s. And I used to point out when these events would happen, like Oklahoma City or Ruby Ridge or whatever, I'd be like, these are the little on the dynamite line, before it hits the fucking powder keg, you get those little on the fucking fuse. Well, the fuses is now going, and that scares the living shit out of me, because we live right next door to you assholes. Like,
And James, Minnesota.
What happened in Minnesota?
It's more like what kind of American are you?
But Phil in Minnesota. No, these glasses were the one guy that was stopping people in their cars and asking where they were from.
What?
And if they said anything except America, he shot them.
Oh, you're talking about that movie, The Civil War.
Yeah, but I like the meme where it shows him and it's like, do you play D&D? And the guys are all like, yeah. And the next scene is him looking really close. What edition? And it's just like, oh shit. I mean, that hit me in the feels because, I've been through the edition wars once or twice. It's like every time a new edition comes out, there's a little bit of kerfluffle,
Yeah.
And then it calms down for a little while, and then
they create another edition because it
and
didn't
then
pop
something
up.
else happens and it gets crazy.
Yeah,
again,
it's
because that's how
unfortunate when
humans are.
you're owned by a large corporation that they do need more profits each year.
Now, before I end this stream, I'm going to tell you guys something that's super fucked up. This guy and girl got married and had a baby. The baby is sick. And they were having real hard problems. So they even took it to like that Winnie Palmer and all that. Because they didn't have a lot of money, right? And this baby has a super rare, like, genetic issue. Right? So as part of figuring out what was wrong, they did DNA tests on the parents, brother and sister.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
But they were
didn't know.
adopted. They were both adopted.
Yeah.
and never knew, and just happened to meet at a freaking high school dance and fell in love, ended up getting married, having a family, and then after that finding out they were brother and sister.
That's fucked up.
That is, I told you I was going to tell you something effed up before I ended the stream.
Well, then
There
I'm going
it
to tell
is.
you my favorite joke I've heard of late. And I think I told you this one already, but I'll say it again because it's fun.
Well, if it's funny, say it again.
Woman's at a bar having a drink, and this other woman walks up to her and says, "Hi, you're really cute." And she looks at her flustered and says, "No, thank you, but I'm straight." And the woman replies, "Yes, so spaghetti till you get it wet."
Oh my God. There's a guy on YouTube that does a short. He's like, these American women always talking about how they want to be princesses. He's like, princesses ain't out drinking, a quart of rum, running around. You ain't princesses, you're pirates. He's like, you out there running around, giving the booty away, freaking drinking rum, carrying.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But anyway, I do gotta go. Thank you for dropping in over there, and have fun.
My pleasure. Yes, thank you. 8 p.m.
And Shadow, you have fun at your game.
I will.
And Dean, you have fun being Danish.
I will try.
Okay, well, there we are. And I'll have fun